mine and Kramer's first option. Kramer, you've already spoken about Santana. Adam, you've spoken about Santana. I think Santana's the right fit too because he's short term. Because as you go through this, I think you can't go through 2025 with your hand in front of your face. You have to be able to look at the future. Because if you don't look at the future, you're not going to have long-term relevance. And quite frankly, while the Yankees were a playoff team since 2009 every year except for 2 or 3, they weren't playoff relevant. And the Yankees need to maintain that playoff relevance. And the way to do that is know that you could possibly lose a whole boatload of guys after the 25 season, including Bellinger potentially and Stroman potentially. But Williams is gone and needs to be replaced. Weaver is a free agent after the season, and he will need to be replaced. So you've got things that you need to replace. And I think getting those guys that will be short term so that you have the flexibility to fill in your back end when guys walk away is going to be important. If they don't sign short term, they're just sticking themselves with another Stanton contract or another A-Rod contract. And those were bad contracts that the Yankees paid the price for and to a certain extent are still paying it for Stanton. And I think first base, Santana's the guy. After reading a little bit more about Goldschmidt, if he was to sign a 1-year deal, I would be less offended by it because he is an excellent fielder. And the things that I read about last year for him was his exit velocity was very high and his batting average for balls in play was very low compared to what his exit velocity was. But I'd much rather have Santana.
It's flipped, actually. I think that all the, and I call them the old man metrics, the things that you see, with the drop in skill set that you would see from some of these guys, he cratered last year. So I don't think Goldschmidt's the guy. Other than the defensive position, he's a veteran and he's got a winning attitude. Apparently, he's very good in the clubhouse. But we don't need another LeMahieu. We don't need another guy who's fallen apart. Limb by limb. Let's just move on and not think about that. Can we talk about some options at this point?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Santana is the best I like for the low cost and just what he offers. An elite, strikeout guy. Walks enough, doesn't strike out very much, makes great contact. I love him, good fielder. So and in short term. I also love the idea of Yandy. Yandy would be great, but I don't know if they've got, what do they have to trade for someone like Yandy? I mean, they have any pieces left. I mean, that's the problem.
Maybe Pereira.
Yeah. Well, Pereira, I think, Pereira. But
Pereira is your guy, is your outfield depth. I mean.
He's not. He doesn't have any value. By the way, going back to Goldschmidt, he was in the 92nd percentile for hard hit rate and the 82nd percentile for average exit velocity last year. So from that standpoint, that was it. And his K rate was in the 21st percentile, which is not good.
No. What about his walks?
His walk rate was in the
down?
38th percentile in major.
Year over year. Look back.
Well, I can only have 24 in front of me with this stupid site that I grabbed. So it was just that. So, he wasn't awful, but yeah, he's this fallback only because he's a 1-year deal guy. There's no way I want to touch Alonso under any circumstances, right? Don't want to touch him. I think he's going to be the last man. I think he's going to be the Boris failure this offseason. I think he's going to be the last man standing.
Right, so here are the problems. Here are the issues with him. Bat speed is down. Sweet spot, square up, chase rates up. A lot of these things are the bad signs. And his K rate is 21 percentile, as you said, and his walk rate is down to 7.2. After, let's just see how it looked in 23. This is how you watch a trend. He walked 12 points. He was in the 89 percentile for walks 2 years ago. Now he's down to 21%. Something happened. That's what happens. When you start striking out more and walking less, what's happening? You can't catch up to the fastball anymore. Yep. And that's the sign to me.
That's why Santana's the better guy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, but there's nothing. Like you said, Diaz is out there, and I know you're about to say Lowe, right, Kramer?
He would be Nathaniel Lowe would be an unbelievable option.